Hello everyone and welcome back to Lost Planeswalker. You're here with me, Jesse, the Lost Planeswalker, and this is a back to the basics video. And if you don't know, this is a video where I talk about the rule mechanics for a certain keyword and give you some cool suggestions and kind of talk about, what's going on there. So this is the first one in a while, like I said, and this keyword is reach. So reach might not be one of the most powerful keywords, but it has some really good uses, and its roots are kind of really fun and start all the way back with Giant Spider in Alpha. This is kind of Green's way of combating flying, because Green doesn't really, or I guess there were a couple Green cards with flying, but they weren't really supposed to have flying, so this is one of the ways they can combat that. So this video will talk about how reach works, some cards that they are known for, and finally, some suggestions for your deck and commanders that care about reach. But let's start by talking about reach and see how it works. So, 702.17 reach. 702.17a, reach is a static ability. 702.17b, a creature with flying can't be blocked except by creatures with flying and or reach. See Rule 509, declare blocker step, and Rule 702.9, flying. 702.17c, multiple instances of reach on the same creature are redundant. Now, like I said earlier, reach has its origins, like many of the evergreen keywords, all the way back in Alpha. There are some specific cards and card types that care about reach. Like our first example, spiders are one of the most common creature types that are known to have reach. It is also quite often that creatures like archers, and even some cards like giants, have reach. Reach was a green-only keyword, but in recent years, we've gotten a lot of red and white tie-ins with reach too. Now that we have the basics of reach down, let's look at some commanders that care about reach and some other cards that are worth adding to your deck. So to start out for reach, we have Tarde's Juniper Ascendant, Sidar Kondo of Jumar, and Ohabi Kaleri. Boy, I think I just butchered all of those, but those are some weird names. So first off here, Juniper Ascendant, we have 2 green-white Ledger creature human monk with reach. It has hexproof unless it's attacking, and whenever a creature you control with reach attacks, untap it, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power greater this combat. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this is a reskin from one of the Street Fighter cards here, or universes beyond or within, I guess, versions. And this is pretty cool. It gives a kind of another use to all of those creatures with reach. It gives them kind of skulk until end of combat and can draw you some cards. Sidar is 2 green-white Ledger creature human knight with flanking, which is a very old mechanic. Whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, the blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less, and this is a very common partner for that reason. This makes it very hard, unless your opponents have a lot of things with flying or reach, to block any of your stuff, so it's pretty cool. And then for 1 green-white Ledger creature elf archer with reach, untap all archers you control during each other player's untap step. Whenever an archer you control deals combat damage to a creature, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. Archers are also known for having some tap abilities that can deal some damage or whatever, so this is a very cool ability. So some other legendary commanders that also care about reach is Ishkarin Groth Widow, Izoni Center of the Web, and Arasta of the Endless Web. So Ishkana is 4 and a green legendary creature spider with reach and delirium. When this enters the battlefield, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, put 3 1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach onto the battlefield. For 6 and a black, target opponent loses 1 life for each spider you control. Pretty powerful spider commander there. Izoni Center of the Web is 4 black and a green Ledger creature elf detective with menace, and whenever Izoni Center of the Web enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence for. If you do, create 2 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with menace and reach. You can sacrifice 4 tokens to surveil 2, then draw 2 cards, and you gain 2 life. Very cool new card from the Murder Karlov Manor set. And then Arasta of the Endless Web, one of my favorites. 2 green legendary enchantment creature spider with reach, and whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. This just gives you some good benefit for your opponents playing the game, so that's why it's one of my favorite commanders. Now, talking about some other cards with reach you should consider including in your deck, we have Kodama of the West Tree, Ancient Green Warden, and Audric Lunarch Marshal. Kodama of the West Tree has reach, gives modified creatures you control trample. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage, you can go search your library for a basic land and put on the battlefield tap, which is pretty great because if you get enough hits in, that's really powerful, but it also has reach, which is pretty good. Ancient Green Warden, 4 green creature elemental with reach. You can play lands from your graveyard and you double your landfall triggers. And then Audric Lunarch Marshal is 3 and a white, and I kind of have to put him in every one of these back to the basics because he's so good at giving all of your other stuff basically any evergreen keyword ability as long as they have it. So he is also very powerful. Next up, we have Poison Tip Archer, Nyx Weaver, and Lolith Spider Queen. Poison Tip Archer is a very cool card because it has reach and death touch, preventing your opponents with flying from really wanting to swing into you. And whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses a life, which is also pretty powerful. Nyx Weaver, 1 black-green enchantment creature spider with reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 2 cards. Then for 1 black-green, exile this and return target card from your graveyard to your hand. This is a pretty versatile card, so it's very fun to play. And Lolith Spider Queen, 3 black, legendary Planeswalker Lolith. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a Lloyd 2 counter on it. Then for 0, you draw a card and lose 1 life. -3, create 2/2/1 Black Spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach. And -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt damage by 1 or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 during this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. A very powerful tick down ability, and a very cool spider, planeswalker. Next up, we have Arachnogenesis, Titan of Industry, and Sweet Gum Recluse. So Arachnogenesis is a very cool instant that can not only negate damage, but creates a ton of spiders for you. So for 2 green instant, create X 1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by non-spider creatures. This means that you can kind of take a bunch of those tokens and throw them in front of whatever's attacking you, and maybe kill a couple of creatures in the process, or just block everything that's attacking you, and you have a giant board to swing back with. Titan of Industry, big old creature here, 4 green, creature elemental with reach and trample. When it enters, choose 2, destroy target artifact or enchantment, target player gains 5 life, create a 4/4 green rhino warrior creature token, or put a shield counter on a target creature you control. This is a pretty versatile card that I think a lot of players who like to reanimate stuff, come back to for all of its versatility. And Sweet Gum Recluse, 4 green creature spider flash, cascade, and reach. And when Sweet Gum Recluse enters the battlefield, put 3+1/+1 counters on each of any number of target creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. While this doesn't have big power itself, if you have a lot of things entering the battlefield and then can flash this in, you could really power up your board. Or potentially, if your opponents are swinging at somebody and they have haste or whatever, and they just entered this turn, you can buff up all those to maybe knock out an opponent. In the last 3 cards I want to talk about real quick are Annoyed Altasaur, Dragon Lair Spider, and Poison Dart Frog. Annoyed Altasaur is not one of our typical, spider or other creatures, but it is a dinosaur with reach, trample, and cascade. So pretty big boy, get you some good benefit. In addition, it looks like it's going to eat that guy, so pretty fun card. Dragon Lair Spider, 2 red, green creature spider with reach, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, you create a green insect creature token. So pretty cool token creation in Gruul colors. And Poison Dart Frog, 1 and a red creature frog with reach. Tap it to add 1 mana of any color, or pay 2. Poison Dart Frog gains death touch until end of turn. He just wants to kill you. I don't know. I mean, look at him. He looks so happy to be sitting on that guy's skull that he probably killed. So I'd watch out. There's a lot of really cool low power blockers that you're able to give death touch like this, and this has reach as well, so it is fantastic. That's it. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked some of the suggestions I had for reach creatures. Reach is a pretty cool keyword, and I hope you thought so too. If you like this video and want to see more like it, or some commander decks and some other content on my channel, please consider subscribing. If you would also leave a like and share this video with a friend, maybe you're new to Magic or you know somebody who is and you want to teach them some keywords, well, this series is based around just that. So if you would share that, it would mean the world to me. So thank you. And today's Scryfall card of the day is Frenzied Goblin. The upside to not thinking about the consequences is that you'll always surprise those who do. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you later, Planeswalkers.